If you have never been to Chamonix, I guarantee you get on a plane and go right now, as the mecca for all trail running probably is the closest place to heaven here on earth. But don't take my word for it, let me just show you right now. What's up everybody, I'm Alexander Tucker, and if you're here for the first time, this channel is for all things ultra running and adventure travel, getting you out and about exploring this wonderful world. And today we are exploring Chamonix. We're going to get into it and show you the 2 weeks that I spent before UTMB in 2023, exploring the entire Chamonix Valley, showing you a little bit of what Trail du Mont Blanc has to offer, and stick around to the end where I share with you some of my travel tips to Chamonix. Now, what brought me to Chamonix? After 10 years of training and racing and qualifying in order to get into Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc, UTMB, I finally did it, and then a pandemic happened. And then I deferred and got sick and got deferred and ended up racing in 2023. And that's what brought me to Chamonix. Yes, to run the race, but mostly to experience what this place has always been in my mind. The iconic, the glorious, the amazing Chamonix Valley at the foot of Mont Blanc, the highest summit in all of Europe. After my initial arrival to the valley, I got settled in my chalet and then went straight to downtown Chamonix to explore and get a lay of the land. Walking through the ancient stone streets of the mountain town trance you right back in time, with delicious smells pouring out of every shop, mountain flowers popping, and the mountain views ever present all around you. Being there for UTMB week means there's extra energy in the town, but I gather that would be the case regardless of the time of the year, because people come from all over the world to this tiny town no matter what time of the year it is, whether for winter sports or summer hiking and running, abseiling, glacier climbing, rock climbing, alpineering, whatever it is, you can find it in Chamonix. I flew to Chamonix and carved out 2 weeks of pre-race preparations, resting, exploring, and eating basically all of the delicious foods that France is known for. I stayed in Les Houches, right on the Arve River, nestled between the Mont Blanc Massif and the river, one of the many quaint villages along the floor of the Chamonix Valley, with both easy bus and train transportation from Geneva. And one of the best parts of the valley is the network of free transportation that you are provided as a guest of any accommodation there. So whether you stay in Chamonix or not, you're never without the beauty of the mountains and valley. Waking up on the mountainside, sipping coffee and reading, and resting is about as close to heaven as you'll probably ever get. In the following days, I spent every moment of the trails around the valley learning the landscape and getting comfortable with the UTMB trail. Trail du Mont Blanc is an iconic trail that circumnavigates Mont Blanc and is an epic trail for anyone who loves trails. Although the elevation is not as high as some other trails that you might find in extreme mountain ranges elsewhere, between 3,000 and 10,000 feet, the grade and cumulative elevation gain for this trail is unreal. Just a few miles on the trail can see intense climbs of thousands of feet. Many people who come to run UTMB this time of year choose to do section training while in the area before the race. Without a car, I opted to get off the buses and off the roads and get out there on foot instead, doing as much as I could from the trails and roads from my home in Les Houches. One day, I took the Les Houches to Chamonix section, the first westward section out of town, making the climb up to Parc des Merlets, the animal and nature preserve, which is absolutely amazing. You can both drive it or hike it, and from there you get a beautiful view of both Mont Blanc and Chamonix Valley. One of the best days that I had before the race, and right before the rainy weather came in for a few days, was to run the first 20-mile section past Les Houches. Out of the village, it quickly climbs out of town and over the ski slopes, under chairlifts, and that's when the views really start opening up. From the top, overlooking the other side, down into Saint-Gervais, the roads and trails wind down and completely open up. All you ever really see are some periodic hikers, some locals passing by, and the cows with the sound of their cowbells ringing off the mountains. There are so many refuges and hillside cafes serving delicious foods along the trail. Now, don't pass without stopping for something tasty, and you're never far from water no matter where you are. Delicious mountain spring-fed water. highlight of my favorite trail right in Chamonix is the Cascade du Dard Trail. It's a waterfall hike shortly out of town. The Tunnel du Chamonix passes right by it, but still it feels like a world away. So grab a glass, sit down, have a bite, and rest for a while you hear the waterfall. Now the main point for me coming to Chamonix was to race UTMB, which means that I was mostly there to prepare and rest before the race. So there are many things that I left on the table. My friend in UTMB race support, Bianca, went all the way up to Mer de Glace, the glacier at the top of Mont Blanc. I didn't choose to do that, but she raved about it. There are all sorts of other activities you could do. Abseil from the side of the mountain, or go rock climbing, or glacier hiking. But the truth is, you also don't need to do any of that stuff. You can just go to Chamonix and absorb all that the valley has to offer in its beautiful views, its delicious food, and its wonderful, kind people. So all that to say, I cannot recommend a visit to Chamonix enough. Go hike the Trail du Mont Blanc, run some races if you ever can get into them, and explore what this beautiful place has to offer. With friends, solo, or on a race day, I guarantee you will not regret it. Now before you go, I did say that I have some suggestions for you on your first trip to Chamonix. If you are a first-time visitor, you do not need to stay in Chamonix to enjoy the Chamonix Valley. You can stay in any number of the local villages all up and down the Chamonix Valley, or all the way around the mountain, and still get the full extent of what the valley has to offer. Or if you're not into nightlife or the hustle and bustle of a busy tourist town, you might actually enjoy getting out of Chamonix more than being in it. And the next thing is, you do not need a car to visit Chamonix. There is plenty of public transportation, both from international airports and within the valley once you get there. If you are staying in accommodation within town, you get free use of all of the valley transportation, mainly the bus network, which is fully comprehensive, easy to navigate, and has stops all up and down the valley. Next is about downtown Chamonix. It is beautiful and worth the exploration. Give yourself a gift by getting outside of the main tourist district. Get into the quiet neighborhood pubs and cafes and restaurants, and get to talking with people there, but you kind of have to get off the beaten path to do it. The next suggestion that I have is just to remember that people live here. When you're getting out of town and you're going up into these canyons and these hillside mountain towns, these villages that look like they've been there for 1,000 years. Remember that people live there. There are active farming families that still keep horses, that still keep cattle, that still farm the hillsides. When you're following trails through those neighborhoods, show them a little bit of respect by being quiet and giving them some space. The next thing you probably already know, but Mont Blanc is surrounded by 3 countries. So when you're in Chamonix, that's France, and if you cross over the mountains, you can be in Switzerland and Italy. So remember, when you are going around, whether it's by car, bus, or trail, you're going to hit 3 countries, and you're going to hit 3 languages too. So if you're in Chamonix and speaking French, by the end of the day you could be in Italy speaking Italian, so be prepared for that. Bring your translator and brush up on French, Italian, and German while you're there. And the last thing that I have to say is just to give yourself time. This is a total gift to be able to go to a beautiful place like this. It is beyond comprehension in its beauty. And if you ever get the chance to go there, don't just go for a day or two. If you can, carve out plenty of time to explore the entire valley, the mountains all around it, and get to know the people while you're there. So that's what I have for you in my visit to Chamonix last year. Coming up in the next video, I will have my takes on the Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc race, UTMB 2023. I'll share my recap and suggestion for runners, but before you go, hit that subscribe button, follow along on this journey of ultra running and adventure travel, and hit that like button if you found it helpful. I wish you all the best, happy trails, safe travels, take care.